What's up, guys? Today I'm here to show you how to find your own style on guitar. To find your own style, we need to first understand that it's not an external thing. It's not going out and finding licks and stuff that create your style. What we're talking about when we talk about finding your own style is just accepting your own sound. And what I mean by that is that everybody has their own sound, much like everybody's thumbprint is different, or their voice is different, or their face is different. Everybody's just born different. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, and this comes with guitar as well. And well, any instrument. When you pick up a guitar, your sound, you will play different from everybody else because there are so many variables ingrained in guitar, especially guitar, because it's more of a precious instrument. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like it's actually you using your fingers on the strings as opposed to piano, where pianos your fingers are hitting keys that hit hammers that hit the strings, but your fingers themselves are playing the strings, and I think that has a lot of value to the instrument. It's also really easy to make the guitar sound terrible, but the great thing is there's less of a barrier between you and your instrument, which I love. And you can really connect with what you want in your head and the sound that is a part of you much easier than a lot of other instruments. Let's talk about finding your own style. A lot of people think that just learning licks in the style that you like will help you out. And I agree with that to an extent, but I think it comes down deeper because everybody, I feel like sound is something that's cultivated. It's something like I said earlier, your voice. Like I grew up in the northeast United States, Pennsylvania, and I kind of have that accent in my voice. While like people that are born in London have a London accent, and so on. And I feel like that's the same way with music. It's the culture that you grew up in. Well, I wouldn't say grow up in, but everything from your past to the present right now, everything that has influenced you either orally or even spiritually, or the experiences you have, everything that you've experienced, and on top of that, your biology, your DNA, like what you personally prefer hearing, all of these things, also the connections that you make mentally in your brain from the sounds you hear, all of these things lead into a funnel of preference, and what you prefer to play or hear in music is what makes everybody different. And there's so many things going on that there's no possible way anybody can sound completely the same as anybody else unless they're really going out of their way to block that natural sound or tone within them, and to put on a facade. And that's not what I want you to do. I want you to have your own sound, and be as authentic as humanly possible. Whoa. I feel like authenticity and originality are even more important than being what people think as different, you know, because being different for the sake of being different is kind of disgusting. Being different by just being authentic is 1,000 billion times more valuable. And I think that goes with guitar as well. When you're not ashamed of how you play, how you pick up the instrument, and what you play on the instrument, whether it be bad or good, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. I feel like that's a very healthy mindset where when you play, you can just be yourself. I'm trying to get words going. My brain is not working as well today as it should be. But back to learning licks. The thing with learning licks and all that stuff, that's incredible. That's great. You have to just go with the things you like the sound of when it comes to music. Like for me, I love Eddie Van Halen's, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. Like I like that slidey legato type stuff that just sounds like melting butter on, you know, in a microwave. That's the type of sounds I love. And so over the years of my playing has basically cultivated into the most buttery sound there can be. But I keep finding things that excite me more that are a bit less buttery, and I find that rhythmic structures are a nice like peppering to that butteriness. But take that as an example. Like if you like really like staccato like hard, everything clear, perfect, precise, that type of sound, like you know, more like a John Petrucci or Steve Morris sound, like you can find that. And the thing with licks is if you like that type of sound, learn those licks, you know, internalize that. And I think the most important thing in practice is actually improvisation, because when you improvise, you can take those licks and you can, after you get the licks down, you can practice those licks, but I feel like it's even more important to mutate those licks into something completely original. Like take those concepts that you like, those sounds that you like, and just mutate them into your own thing. When I was super hardcore into practicing, I was practicing like 4 to 10 hours a day, like in my early 20s. Like I wouldn't even learn licks. What I would do is I would just listen. I had a full-time job then, but I would listen to music on my way to work. I would listen to music at work, and I would listen to music on my way back from work. And like it was all stuff like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai, and that was when I first started getting into all those instrumental guitarists. But I would just listen to these guys and absorb everything they were playing, and I would just go home and like I would do my practice, but I would dedicate a special time just for improvisation after practice, and I would just try my best to like emulate those types of sounds that I liked in the music. And after a while, I created my own licks doing that. But like that is a great way to just find. It's sorry, my brain. That is a great way to just let that sound that's within you come out. That tone. But like I said in my video on how to master guitar, though, there is this certain there are limitations when it comes to even that. Like, I feel like that is a great way to practice cultivating your sound, that to turn that piece of charcoal that's within you that is your sound into a diamond. It's about like refining your sound and just maturing it over the years. But to get even deeper into that, I talk about effortless mastery, which I feel is the highest, the absolute highest you can go in musical mastery, where it's about when you perform, you just shut off everything in your brain. You just turn thought off and you just let your fingers dance on the fretboard as if somebody else is playing the fretboard for you. And it's about meditating while you play. And while you do that, the things that come effortlessly to you, just play. And that is your voice in this language that we call music. And whoa, that is so powerful. It can really connect with an audience and the other musicians around you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice. You shouldn't learn your songs and you just go in there and just play whatever, be all meta. You know, you don't. When it comes to effortless mastery, there are two sides. It's almost like a yin and yang thing. There's practice and performance. When you practice, that's when you do everything consciously, and that's when you learn those licks that, like, you know, that you were inspired from Steve Vai or Joe Satriani or something. That's when you consciously be like, you find those licks that you're like, this is great, I love this. This is giving me such a dopamine rush, just improvising with this. Or you're learning alternate picking, like, I'm gonna get so good at this, I'm gonna be able to effortlessly play this stuff. And that's your goal. Your goal is to play effortlessly. But when you go to perform, it's when you turn everything off and you just let what comes naturally to you out. And when you allow yourself to be present in the moment, that's when that inner critic in your head, that critic that's saying you have to be technical, you have to be modern, nobody will respect you for playing that same note over and over and over again. That's when you are present in the moment, that inner critic gets kicked out and you just play what is within you. And that is what connects people. Nobody cares about how technical you can play. Nobody cares about the speed at which you're playing. Nobody cares about any of that stuff. The only thing people care about is if it's coming from somewhere deeper within you. And I feel like that is something that not a lot of people, especially in the guitar community, have completely embraced. I feel like the world has become so unnatural that we have lost a lot of what comes natural to us as human beings. And I feel like music, above all else almost, music was just another expression. Like, we were all cavemen back billions of years ago, and we banged on rocks just because it was fun, and everybody was a musician back then. But we've created such an image and world around it that it's become so complex and convoluted, and it's become a very ego-driven thing. And I feel like as a musician, it's great to strive for to be the very best you can be, but I feel like at a certain point you need to embrace the reality of music, and that is that music is a language. It is connecting with people. It is using your notes to inspire emotions in a person. It's there to convey emotion. And when it comes to your sound, you should strive to just take what is out of you, what is already a part of you, that's already different and special and unique about you, everything that you love about sound, and just be able to express it in whatever instrument you want in music. And I feel like just uncovering that stuff is how you find your own style and sound. Don't try to be fake, just be authentic. If you want to play, if your sound sounds like Lil Wayne, go with it. At least, he may not be the greatest guitar player of all time, but at least, yeah, maybe I'm going too far with this. But just, even if it sounds like crap, but it's coming from the heart and connecting with people, and you're not thinking, and you're just playing, that's more special than a billion fucking arpeggios coming at you from 300 beats per minute.